All right, I'm here with Melina Moreno, and I'm so excited to chat with her today because she's one of the experts that's featured in Embodied Abundance, the Mastermind. She's from our launch phase, so she's going to be one of the launch experts. So, welcome, Melina.
Thanks, Jesse. I'm so happy to be here and chat launches and social media with you.
Yeah, so I want to know, tell me about how you came to your business. What's your story?
Yeah, so the real quick story is I am a recovering corporate person that had to go corporate detox before I went all in on my business. But when I was working in the corporate world, I worked for, at the tail end of my career, software companies that helped small businesses launch all day long, right? And they provided tech tools that helped business owners grow. And just after like a couple of years speaking to, I think it was over 7,000 business owners, um, I was just like, I need to do this. Like, I can do this by myself. Like, I'm spending all of my time helping this one company, but if I went on my own, I could have a bigger impact. So after getting fed up with management and just like being bullied and just not ascending in pay or in anything else, but all of my ideas being taken, I just decided to resign. But like, I made them put on the paperwork that they fired me because they were trying to bully me into getting fired, but they didn't actually want to fire me.
Mm-hmm.
So when they let me go, I said, put there that I'm terminated. And they were like, but then you can't come back. I was like, I know. So like I wanted to burn the ships. I wanted to help people. So that's
Wow.
kind of like my backstory. So like my business was just, there was nothing else that I was going to do.
I
So yeah,
love that. Yeah, that's like the ultimate taking the leap, right? You're like, I'm taking the leap and I want you to like throw the ladder down, like get rid of it. I don't want to come back up.
and they were even like, are you sure? And for a split second, I was like, wait, they want me back? And then I was like, well, no, that's even more abusive and manipulative. No, I don't want to come back
Yes.
ever.
I love that. Awesome. So give us a bit about what your business is all about and what you do.
Yeah, so hey guys, I'm Melina. That was kind of an intro. I'm the
Yeah.
founder of Social Ads Made Simple, and I help businesses of all revenue sizes and team sizes grow their business weekly on social media to generate more leads and sales, right?
I love
So
that. Yeah.
the top few things, let's build you an audience, let's generate you some leads, and that leads to sales. So that's what I've been doing full time for the past 5 years for businesses all over the world. It's been so much fun.
Yeah, I love that. And you're so good at what you do and you're so like cheery and fun. So you make the process fun, I would think. I mean, I haven't worked with you personally, but I can tell.
Yeah, because it's such a, because like my biggest passion is just really figuring out how people tick and how we can help them and the psychology of stuff. So building these campaigns for every individual business to really craft how they personally can have like their impact on the world, and that it's communicated in such a way that they like attract other people like a magnet. It's a beautiful process to me. It's just really boring to most people because it requires looking at a lot of numbers and a lot of data. So I have to keep myself awake, I guess.
I love analytics. I don't know who these people are who like don't like it, but I like take it too far. I'm like, ooh, I gotta like get in there. I'm like, no. Now I'm like fired from looking at my analytics because I'm addicted to them. Yeah,
They can be addicted. That's totally true. Like looking at them too much is like waiting for a pot to boil. Like you got to just give it time for those
exactly.
analytics to really populate. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to analyze and do it too early and get a false negative or a false positive based on what you're testing. So that's awesome that you have that distinction, because it's like you got to have the happy medium.
Right, exactly. Now it's like I have my OBM, I have my copywriter. They look at my analytics and they tell me, and I'm like,
Oh,
perfect. I have
that's
like a filter
awesome.
now. Yeah. So what's I want to know like tell us a few things about like what are some quick hits? Like what are some few things that people could implement in their social media? Maybe they've never done ads and that's fine, but like
Yeah.
what's some give us some juicy like a few things that people could do, yeah, just in general to like kind of get more eyeballs on their stuff.
To get more eyeballs on their stuff. That's exactly it, right? So what I'm about to talk about, the quick points, they apply to whether you put money behind your launch or whether you don't, right? Because that's the only difference with using paid ads or not, is Am I going to amplify whatever I'm already doing and make sure that a lot of people actually see it? Or do I want to take chances that the algorithm is going to favor me on that day and that people are on Facebook at that exact time and taking a lot of chances? So,
Mhm.
either one is fine because actually both work really, really well. And it just depends on the nature of your business and how much you're willing to actively show up, because organic only works so well for the businesses who are committed to showing up and building a relationship. And that brings me into my first point, is that when it comes to selling on social media, you guys, it's not like the old paradigms of how we relate to our customers are done. It's not business to consumer. It's not business to business. It is human to human.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And when we look at how do we appeal to our audience, we got to stop thinking in those technical terms, and we got to worry about the human beings that are on the other side and how our messages make them feel, right? So a good rule of thumb that I always tell people is, if it's creepy in person, it's probably creepy online, right? Because the whole the whole process of meeting someone for the first time and getting them to buy from you, most of us think, and myself included, especially when we're in the thick of all of this work that we're doing, we think we're doing all this work and spending all this money and working really hard on this launch. So as soon as people see my message for the first time, they're going to fall in love with me and they're going to buy. Well, that's the same thing as expecting to lock eyes with someone in a room and expect that as soon as they see you, you're going to sleep with them, right?
Wow.
Like, it just doesn't work. And that's actually assault.
Yeah.
Right? To assume that
Right.
you can have that thing. I saw you, you looked at me, you saw my stuff, we're going to get this going. That's really, and it sounds funny and like an almost, exaggerated example, but you guys, people don't go to social media to buy stuff. They go to social media for connection. They go to social media to be distracted from their problems. So as business owners, it's really beautiful that we have the opportunity to show up on a platform where people, log in 5, 6, 7, 8, 20 times a day, especially during the pandemic, you guys. Another quick thing that I just want you to think about when you're creating your launches and where to launch and how to drive traffic is that there's 7.5 billion people on this whole planet, and there's 2.5 billion active daily users on
Wow.
Facebook and Instagram that are logging in 5 to 10 times a day. So when we're doing launches and stuff like that, we can't think about, is Facebook broken? No, Facebook is the house where all of the people that want to play, right? So yeah, I know I'm going kind of on a tangent, but yeah, just treat someone that you want to buy from you as someone that you were wooing, because there's steps that have to be taken in sequence to build that trust. You can't lock eyes with someone, sleep with them, and then hold their hand, right? Or you can, it's just not the way that most
Yeah.
relationships work.
Right. That's gonna
I'm
burn out
sure there's
real
plenty
quick.
of people who locked eyes with someone and did end up going home with them, and I'm sure it was amazing. But that's not the home run that we should expect to hit with every one of our launches every time someone sees a post.
Exactly. And it's did they go the long term? Maybe not, right? Yeah.
Right. Did it happen? Did you seal the deal? Of course they did. But then did they end up being a little problematic and a little bit crazy? Was it worth it? Were they a repeat customer? Was it just a one night stand? Are they not leaving you alone? Right. So when relationships are formed that way, it can be great. And I'm not saying that it's not possible for someone to see your post for the first time and be inspired to buy. What I'm saying is that we shouldn't expect them to. And actually, if we follow the same, because there's a few psychological shifts that has to happen in order to build the foundations of trust, information, and for someone to know that they have this problem, they acknowledge it, there is a solution, they want a solution, they're ready for it now. Can you provide it? Let me check you out. That's a lot of stages of evaluation. So instead of assuming that people know everything that they need to know about us, we got to make sure that we hit all of those key points. And that's what I'll actually be talking about in your program a little bit more in depth, are the 7 steps to conversion. That if we make sure that we have something in place for each of those 7 steps, we allow people to go from first look all the way to customer in a really smooth, organic way. Right. And I can just do a quick recap of those. First, there's awareness. right? People can't buy from you if they don't know you exist. Duh.
Mm.
Right? So that's why you post on social media. Great, check. There's awareness, but then there's engagement, right? It's not enough for you to lock eyes with someone across the room. You have to like approach them. You have to initiate some kind of conversation. And not only that, they have to speak back. Engagement is you talk, they talk back, whether it's through a click, whether it's with a video view, whether it's with a comment or a click to your landing page. And newsflash, ladies, all of those behaviors are trackable. And we could put all of those little stalkers in a little audience and keep sending them messages so that they keep encouraged to take the next step with us, whatever it is. So there's awareness, and then there's engagement, two-way engagement, right? And then the third one is there's conversion. So it's like once someone knows that you exist and they've checked you out a little bit, they kind of dig you, now it's time to take the relationship to the next level. So this is like asking someone for their number, right? So at the conversion stage, you either invite them to your group, you like, think about it like a date, like the first date, you invite them to your group, you tell them where to locate you or they tell you where to locate them by giving you their email address for a freebie. It's like a very initial, like, let me get your number, let's go on a first date kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They're still probably not going to sleep with you, or they might, like, and that's the beauty of it. Yeah. At every stage, someone can decide I'm in love with you and ascend to buying, right? But we got to make sure to have these things in place so that people don't just assume, hey, you see this and now you're going to sleep with me. No, we got to give them somewhere to engage. We got to give them somewhere to hang out and learn more about us in like a removed way. And that's like the first conversion stage. And then after that, there's a subscription stage where we actually do make the first offer, but it's not like our $2,000 package, right? It's like, some kind of like mini course or some kind of like $40, $50 masterclass, right? Something that takes the relationship to the next level, but still without trying to get them in a bed, right? Like, I don't know why this analogy keeps coming up, but like it works, because try to move things too quickly, people will be turned off really quick. Yeah. And then after that, there's a couple more stages, but I know that this is supposed to be quick.
Yeah.
So I will
just that. Like, just
I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But yeah, we got to make sure we have a home and a sequence, because some people might be ready to jump into bed with us and go all in, and some people might need a little bit more wooing.
Yeah,
so we got to make sure that we take the steps that we need to make them feel safe.
Right. It's about nurturing it, right? We got to be on our kind of like, put on our like, cute clothes and like woo them and bring them into our aura. Yeah.
Yeah. We can't show up like, I have been single for so long and I'm so ready for this date and this better work out. And like, I did my makeup. Did you see like the energy of showing up?
Oh, I love that. That's so true. It's like, are you just putting on makeup to make yourself feel good and like getting dressed up and going out for like a night with no expectations? That's when you're going to be most magnetic, right? And I say this all the time. I'm like, you have to consider a couple things. First, you have to consider like, the purpose of the platform. They want you on there a lot. So it's like, I had a problem early on where it's like, I'd post something and bounce because I'm like trying to keep my screen time down. But it's like the purpose of Facebook and Instagram is to keep people on Facebook and Instagram. So you want to stay, you want to engage, you want to be active, you got to do that. And then it's like, you also, if you're going into the bar where you're like, all right, I'm going to get some tonight. People can feel that, right? Like, you
absolutely feel that. Like, quick aside, one time I did go to a bar with that kind of energy because I was so pissed. I was so angry at an ex-boyfriend. I was like, I'm going to go with the mission of getting laid tonight. And I was just literally sitting there. I wasn't doing anything. This guy looks at me and goes, you're trouble, aren't you? I'm like, how does he know? Like, didn't even approach him, right? Like, people pick up on the kind of energy that you choose to come in with, even though.
It's so true. Yeah. I mean, when you think about like your most like magnetic times just in life, you've shown up with no expectations. You're just there to have a good time. You're your authentic self. You're feeling yourself, and that's it. Like, it's the same thing on social media. I always find like when I'm trying to game the algorithm, and this is why I had to cut off myself from the analytics, that's when I step out of authenticity and I start like, I like stop getting the engagement, because now it's like I'm trying to please and people can read that energy. Whereas when I'm like, I'm here to just tell my story and to like showcase things and lead you, that's when people start to interact, because everybody can tell. Even though there's two screens in between yours and theirs, they can absolutely read your energy.
Absolutely. And that's so beautiful the way that you just said that.
Yeah. So where can
energy and the intention.
Yes, yes. Where can people find you, Melina?
People can find me on Facebook, obviously. It's facebook.com / social ads made simple. If you just type in social ads made simple, I have a Facebook page and I have a Facebook group where I go more into depth and talk at length about stuff like this. And I'm so excited to teach your people and guide them through their launches.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a while, but it's going to be so worth it when we get to you during that
Ah,
launch phase. I can't wait.
can't wait.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today.
Yeah, my pleasure, Jesse. Thanks for having me on. It was so much fun.
Yeah, have a good one. We'll see you soon, friends. Bye.
Bye.